Okay, Mr. David, so continuing on from our previous video, obviously guys, we introduced the straightaway in the last video. If you didn't see that, would go check that out. My first time using it, I like it a lot, not just because you're right in front of me. I think you guys will benefit a lot from it as well. And in this video, I'd like to talk a little bit more about some drills and feels and some really practical take-homes for them.
Yes.
If they want to get that swing started correctly to set themselves up for success later.
Right.
And for me to hit some and go through, because I struggle with this area myself, and just kind of correlate some of those feels for them.
Right, right.
So let's say a player gets this,
Yeah.
they have it, and they're, okay, I'm kind of at home, I'm working on this. I get the general concept
Right.
that I'm trying to move this early.
Right.
Are there any other feels or drills or things I should be trying to do?
Well, with the straightaway itself, one of the best drills we've found, and honestly, we've got people playing this way. Okay, so take your address there. Okay, so relax those arms. Keep a little connection with your left arm and your chest. Okay, so move it back to the takeaway spot, shall we say. Okay, you can see, and you can check it. I mean, hey, if you have to do it 2 or 3 times, if it's not right, just make sure it is right. There you go, perfect. Yeah. The whole deal, now you look back at the ball, okay, you get the club setting, complete your rotation and hit it. In other words, you're starting your swing from here. You're eliminating the takeaway.
Okay.
So it's really a case of, you know, I mean, say the famous Canadian professional, obviously Mo Norman, who's one of the straightest hitters in history of the game. He started, you know, a good 2 feet behind the ball. You know, they asked him, Mo, why do you do that? And he said, no need for a takeaway, no need for a takeaway. He said everything twice, you know.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
He was a great guy. But so the thing is, if you actually learned, okay, just have a couple of practice swings, just starting from there. Just move back here, there you go. Right, now just start from there, just check it, keep those arms nice and soft. Right, now finish it, stop there, check it. Okay, now complete your backswing and go. Good. Do that once more, and then we'll hit a shot. See
And David, as I'm doing this, and we can go into details obviously as we go.
Right.
In the simplest terms, like from this to the top of my backswing,
Right.
all I'm really trying to do is just finish my turn.
Yeah, you're finishing your turn, and especially if you have a case of, you know, somebody gets the club a bit behind them, okay, your visual, you could actually, in a rehearsal, make sure this red arrow, have a look at the red arrow, it stays more in front of you.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yep.
So if you had a laser here, it would look somewhere between your feet and the ball, say. Okay, so especially for somebody who does this, that's why the reason I like this is because you can tailor it to the individual. You know, if somebody has a pretty good looking move here, then you wouldn't mention it. But for you, it's like, okay, I would say with the tendency having to get the club behind you, that at this point where the club feels a little bit lighter at this point, here it's a little bit heavier, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I would just keep the red arrow in front without getting too specific.
Okay.
I just want that club.
This little more up towards the sky.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the
That's
details.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got another little way of being able to assess if you're in the right position. Okay, well, I've got to move my weight.
Finish my turn, and then I would go from there.
Right.
Okay.
And if you're using your core correctly, here's another little juicy bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my foot on your lead foot here. As you move it back, feel how the pressure builds up in that front foot as you do that. Do you feel that? See, so many people have heard about, okay, well, I've got to move my weight. So they start to shift early, right? But you can see this really gets your obliques working. Feel that
So I'm
pressure?
not going like this.
Yeah, there's no sway off the ball. There we go. Do you feel that pressure there?
Oh, yeah.
So if anything, your left knee, if anything, is not moving in. You know, we saw the old swings of, you know, Jack Nicklaus years ago and Payne Stewart and so on. But what we see now with players, you know, Justin Rose at times, you can see, watch his foot, it actually does this. So the pressure is still on the front of the foot. Even though you're loading into your right side, you still have some pressure on this front foot, and that means you're engaging your core.
Let me try one with that drill, David, and then I would like to talk through some other feels and drills and things that I've seen you do. Let me just do one more practice. Okay, so I'm here. I also like, gosh, I see that, I mean, just those little subtle things you're saying of the arm being connected here early, all these things just stack on top of themselves to start the swing correctly.
I mean, there's so many thoughts out there, and a lot of them are very, very true. And it's like, okay, well, why do these things happen? I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause there and then hit from that spot.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So you can check it. I say if it's not right, just do it again. Yes. Keep the arms
Here,
relaxed.
normal. Good there.
Good.
Turn and hit. And so the whole goal there, I'm assuming, is like, if I start from a good spot, I've removed so many potential earlier issues that I can just let myself react, and I'm going to get some good things coming down.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk body motions for a second.
Okay. Can we let's remove the straightaway.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Well,
Because I've seen you do some things with the spiraling and some of the body motion drills that I think would be very effective as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, the turn really is, I mean, if you want to call it a turn, it's a spiral movement, right? It's almost like uncorking a wine bottle, you know,
Yeah,
whereby
okay. It's not just, I'm not making just like a level turn,
yeah, I mean,
straight back.
there was, I mean, for many years it was like turn level, I mean, which I think if somebody had a reverse pivot, I mean, you know, some of these things are used sort of willy-nilly, okay? So it's like, oh, well, she teaches turn level. Well, maybe they did for this player, but not necessarily if you listen to them teaching somebody else. So,
Sure.
I mean, it's horses for courses, so to speak. So the first thing is, here's a little very simple, I mean, because I think posture is so vital to get your balance right to start with. So just get the club and pull it onto your quads, all right? So what I want you to do, I want you to feel that you're actually pulling back with the shoulders and pushing forward with the pelvis. There you go.
Okay.
So a little less knee flex, maybe, just a touch. There you go.
Okay.
Right. So you should really feel the weight sort of right in the middle of the shoelaces here. Okay? Right in the middle part of the foot, shall we say. Can you feel that? So that's a very athletic position. So, you know, I mean, obviously, look, if you've got somebody sitting back on the heels, where's the club likely to go? If they're forward on the toes, where's the club likely to go? So that balance is important. So that's just a nice little checkpoint here where you're pulling back with this, and you can see pushing forward with your pelvis, and now you're in a position where you've got your lines corrected to dress, you know. And so what I do, take your dress, let go of the club.
Yep.
So this is a little checkpoint I use. If I drop a line down from the middle of your hip, it pretty much goes through, okay, straighten the knee just a hair there, Eric, there we go. So it pretty much goes through the back of your knee, down through into almost the back of your ankle here, okay?
Okay.
If your tailbone is sort of stuck behind your heel, then you can probably assume you've got too much weight, certainly your lower body too far back, and then maybe you compensate by having your upper body too far forward, you know?
Yeah.
So getting that sort of nice, that sort of balance where you feel like, you know, it's like if you're receiving serve in tennis or you're bouncing a basketball, you know, that's that sort of athletic position.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So now, right, so let's talk about the pivot motion now, because I think this is the engine of the swing, if you will. And I like this little exercise. So you put your left hand on your left thigh, your right hand on your right, and you just get a little tilt here. So the left hand sits a little higher than the right. Now your goal is now to move from here and to feel that the hands swap position. So the left gets lower, the right moves up. And you can feel, it feels like this is coming down. You feel the left knee, say it's not popping in that much, but it's the fact of the matter is it's like you can feel this is almost hiking up slightly because there's a slight straightening of that right leg. And we can see the left shoulder's down now. Say, I like to call it I've coined a new word called a tilt. Okay, a tilt is a cross between a tilt and a turn.
How do you spell that? How does that get spelled?
T-U-R-L-T.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to use that. I like that.
Tilt.
Tilt.
Okay, you're tilting well. Okay, so now we can see from here,
I like that.
as you start to move, now we can start to sort of compress. We can see almost like the left side gets lower.
Yeah.
It's almost like a action-reaction. Now from here, just unwind. Boom.
Boom, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So I'm here at setup, normal. Okay, so so I'm setting my tilt at setup a little bit. Left hand, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Left hand goes down, right hand goes up.
That's it.
And I turn back.
Right, now from here, move forward, so you move to the front of your front foot here, hold that there, great. Now we can see, at this point you feel very closed, right?
Yep.
Okay, now open up. I mean, I will tell you, I think the greatest player who ever, one of the greatest ball strikers ever was obviously Ben Hogan. And if you look where he is halfway down, Nick Price and I used to look at this all the time. I mean, he is so closed at halfway down point.
Yeah.
Okay, where the hips are closed, the shoulders are closed. From here though, the thing just, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, he like unwinds to a point where he's had tremendous shoulder speed.
Yeah.
And it's not that the power comes from there, but what it does, it just keeps everything online. You know, because we know the power is already dissipated from the hips, going down, finally into the hands, ultimately. But the body has to keep moving because the swing is on a circle, right? It's not a straight line, okay? So your body has to keep rotating and moving.
And I think it's interesting, a lot of these things come back to doing things better and more correctly earlier.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So if I had a club in with that and I was feeling that same motion here,
yeah.
How do you say that word? A tilt.
Tilt.
I got to work on that. A
T-U-R-L-T, yeah.
A tilt. Okay. So I'm turning and tilting.
Yeah.
Okay, as I go back.
Go.
Really my core early. Man, I do not do that.
Right, now from here we can see.
So I can go down.
You can see, you see how you're compressing your left side now. Now from
Yeah.
here, this is
Now I
where
can
you
go.
really open up. Perfect.
So I think most players that we would see, and if you're watching this, most amateur golfers would lack probably both of those words. They
Yes.
probably, a lot of them lose their inclination to the ground. A lot of them don't turn quite enough on the way back. And I think that's a pretty simple way to feel that. Is there, is there one you did with the club behind?
Yeah, you can
like
stick it in
this?
your elbow. I mean, there's variations of this pivot drill. You can, I mean, for some people, this is actually really good too, because you can, especially if you stick this a little further out, you can actually watch the end of the grip almost. Watch here.
So I'm going like that.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Now from here, look where the grip comes as you start forward. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Right, now go.
So I'm almost with this. I'm getting the grip like to the ball.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Right,
And then I'm
now.
forward of it and around.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
It's a great warm-up exercise. That's it.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
You know, the interesting thing is too, Eric, is that if you get into a really wound-up position going back, it doesn't take a whole lot. Okay, it's almost like a batter stepping into it, right? From there. Now, okay, now go. Boom.
Boom.
Perfect. So
Can I hit one with that, David?
Absolutely.
I want to hit one with that feel.
Absolutely.
With that 7-iron. I'm going to go with that same flag.
Okay, so just rehearse that little move away there. That's
right
it.
there.
There you go.
Because even that club behind my back, that forces that core to turn early and lead the way. That is a piece that I do not feel a lot with my normal. I mean, that's such a distinct difference, I think, for the amateur golfer to feel what it feels like to get the body moving early to lead the way is so key here.
That's why I'm a big believer in drills, because you have to get the feel. It's no good just thinking your way through this, okay? It's like, because you're not likely to hit a good shot, a great shot, well, highly unlikely. I mean, so you've got to get this feel going. I mean, if you do that sort of exercise, do it 20 times a day for a week, and just see how much better you start to feel. There you go. Good.
Yeah, I like that.
And you still feel pressure in your right heel, correct?
Yep.
And you feel a little pressure here too, right?
Yep.
Right.
I feel very good and powerful and
okay,
centered.
now I'm going to put my fist here, and you're going to move. You're going to push me. Push. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Now unwind.
Now I can go around.
That's
Boom.
it. That's it.
I like that. That club behind my back feel. Like, gosh, I feel like I could do that forever. I think one of the things you say too that's important here is that, like, concept, visual, feel.
Right.
Understand what you're trying to do, have a visual for it, like with the straightaway or a drill like that, and then what is the feel? You're not taking a thought, like you say. It's not a thought when you're going to play, it's a feel when you're going to play.
A big difference between the two.
Yeah,
one's subconscious, right? Subliminal. The other's very much in your frontal cortex. Think, okay, do this, and this. We know that's a disastrous way to play golf. And I can tell you, that pivot looks great, but it will never happen if the first move is wrong. It'll never happen to that same extent. I mean, you can work at it, you can do drills, but it's like, hey, the horse is already bolted by the time you close the door.
So good. We got to get you in a podcast for like an hour because there's so many good things here. For the
sure.
sake of time, we're going to call that a video. David, thank you very much for being out here.
Thanks, Eric.
Hopefully you guys learned some things from there. Any questions on the pivot or anything else? Obviously, you want to grab a straightaway, any David's programs, we'll put them linked down below. Appreciate you guys watching.